Hi, I'm David Otsu. I'm the manager of the Materials and Processes Engineering team. Our team is responsible for all the materials and processes across the entire vehicle, which includes primary structures, mechanisms, fluid systems, propulsion, and avionics.
My name is Bishop Wright. I am the lead Materials and Processes Engineer here at Relativity Space. So today you're going to hear from Kira, Kieran, and Jamie, who are 3 engineers on the Propulsion M&P team, and they're really going to cover how we impact Aeon R.
My name is Kieran Pantig. I'm a materials processing engineer. Here I support the product development and manufacturing of our gas generator and also own the material qualification of our PBF alloy system. In terms of the scope of my work, I see it in twofold. So one is the support of product development and manufacturing production. Really what's unique about materials and processes is we're really engaged at all life cycles of the product, everywhere from the initial design, giving input to our propulsion engineers in terms of how the product should be designed, giving them inputs for material properties and how they can input that into their analyses. Primarily in my position, supporting our PBF processes. That could be from dispositioning non-conformances, figuring out how we can fine-tune our processes to get the feature resolution we want, for example, all the way to having a part on the stand. With that, we're so closely integrated with the propulsion team. Rocket engines ask a lot out of our materials. Any sort of work we do on a material really has a pretty large-scale impact. Everything from high temperatures, extreme conditions. Really, our team is trying to ensure the reliability of our manufacturing processes, making sure that they're repeatable, making sure we're getting the same thing every time.
It's a very tight, kind of agile teams. I personally deal with a bunch of hardware that's in the thrust chamber assembly, the TCA, including the main injector, LOX manifold, etc. Materials, especially in the engine portion, are really critical because, for instance, they often need to operate at really high cyclic loads. They undergo a ton of stress, temperatures upwards of 75% of their melting temperatures. So these alloys that we're using in printing need to be really strong, really resilient. We're accountable. We, I think, hold our managers accountable and vice versa. And in that way, we're a very close-knit, hardworking, supportive team. This was the team that I think best understood the intricacies of the problems that they were trying to solve, and also were the most collaborative and supportive. We have a ton of opportunities to grow and learn from each other.
One thing that may be a common misconception about an M&P engineer is that maybe we just develop material properties and support design analysis, but there's so much more to it here at Relativity. We really get into selecting optimum materials, working with the REs to apply those to a design, and then after the component is designed and tested, there's opportunity to assess part performance. In propulsion, materials and processes often are the limiting factor in design and manufacture. Critical understanding of that domain supports cost-effective and reliable hardware. Recently, the team brought on an integrated computational materials engineering software package. We are using that currently for alloy development for a future engine block upgrade, but also have other opportunities we see for both new materials, for cost reduction, performance improvements, and to support our reuse.
Right now, we're in a phase of the product life cycle where you can make a big impact on what materials and processes we use on the vehicle. And that's not just for our first flight, but for many of the block upgrades that we're moving towards as well.
So I have a bit of a unique perspective on Relativity's growth since I actually started as an intern back in 2019. I've gotten to see the company grow quite a lot, starting from it was about 80 people up to now are well over 1,000. Through that whole time span, we've grown from a small scrappy startup to a slightly larger scrappy startup. And we're keeping that philosophy and that hunger and that energy, but we've evolved into a much more mature company, really trying to put a great product out there with Terran R. I feel like we as a company have one of the best paths forward towards really enabling the commercialization of space. Definitely check out our careers page. We are actively hiring on the Propulsion M&P team. Come build the railroad to space with us.